everyone, my name is Sion Kang and I'll be your presenter for this week. I thought it would be a great way to open up the presentation by including a face-to-face interaction between the presenter and the audience. This week I'll be focusing on online learning and teaching. I chose this topic because we currently live in a digital world where digital technologies are so integrated into our daily lives, whether it be SNS, education, and even the information to help us connect with our broader world. And I'll specifically be focusing on MOOCs. It is a recent trend in distance education, so without further ado, let's move on to the presentation. So as mentioned before, this week's presentation will be on MOOCs, a new approach to distance education. So what exactly are MOOCs? Well, shortened for Massive Open Online Courses, MOOCs are online courses that are always open or accessible to content and participation through the web. This means that there is no limit in the number of people who can register in the courses, and therefore it is very highly accessible to learners to meet their learning goals. It is offered by the most prestigious universities and institutions such as Harvard, Stanford, and even UBC. And the course material they offer is quite diverse, but MOOC's main method of teaching is through online lectures facilitated by leading practitioners in the field. Learning is then enhanced through a variety of interactive activities, including the ones that I've provided here. You can also form small groups through Google+ and learn by interacting with your peers. MOOCs also propose to encourage the development of learners through open and transparent learning. This means that learners can connect and learn from each other in their online community and generate knowledge through continual improvement. So where can you take MOOCs? Popular educational companies like edX, Coursera, and Udacity partnered with high-ranking universities from mostly United States such as Harvard, MIT, and Stanford. So for example, Coursera is a for-profit company created by graduates from Stanford University. They proclaim to offer top-class education to thousands and even millions of people. Most of MOOCs rely on a business model which aims to provide courses for free while charging those students who want certification on credit denoting completion of courses. MOOCs is also referred as higher education to the masses. So M is for massive, can consist up to more than 100,000 people. Coursera aims to educate up to 1 million people. So O is for open. Open registration, curriculum, and assessment for all. Anybody is able to take the course, to interact, collaborate, and share knowledge in different learning environments. O is for online, and anyone with internet access can access MOOC. C is for courses. It is a self-paced course where you can develop a learning community. It is really up to you how you want to take the course. It's either if it's for exploring your own interests or taking it for certification and credit. What are the benefits for MOOCs? First off, it is accessible for a diverse worldwide audience. It is non-discriminatory in the sense that anyone with internet access can join. It's also free and is also flexible. The learner can learn at their own pace anywhere and anytime, and they're able to take ownership of their learning experience. MOOCs also increase digital literacy. What I mean by this is that, especially for digital immigrants, MOOCs can be a new experience to build their digital skills and how to use digital technologies. Students can also take a diverse range of subjects, such as from artificial intelligence to Greek mythology. MOOCs also builds a knowledge database. And what I mean by this is that knowledge is shared, created, and accumulated on the web. Participants do not need to be enrolled in the host institution because that would be very costly. And work can be shared, viewed, and critiqued by all participants, and this creates a community of students in their learning environment. Astounding teachers and professors teach those all around the world, and this is an asset for those who aren't able to afford to attend high-end universities. So there are of course challenges for MOOCs. First off, the completion rates are very low, almost as low as 7%, and there are many reasons why. It can be that learning through a lecture format can be inefficient. It can also be because of the poor course design. And in the end, it can be because you're just there to explore and learn rather than paying to get the credential. Also, students do not engage in meaningful real-world experiences. Taking an online course can be quite isolating, and they may lose interest and become disengaged. And that's why they need interpersonal interaction and support. Moreover, there may be problem with long-term administration. Developing a course requires a lot of costs and resources, which questions ability for the MOOCs to be offered free in the long run. Also, academic dishonesty or plagiarism are concerns due to a lack of supervision if the course is as big as 100,000 students. There are also technical difficulties that a learner may face. It may be difficult for the learner to receive help, since there are so many other people that the professor would have to help out. There also may be a knowledge overload. There may be too much information, and the learner may find it hard to filter and organize what is important to learn. You also cannot receive degrees through MOOCs. Instead, you can receive certificates of completion, which is just a lower level of credential. And in the end, students make up their own learning experience. MOOCs is largely a self-study course that is best for learners that are independent, and there is quite a lack of individualized attention. And this means that students are responsible of their own learning experience. Students should actively participate in discussion and consistently interact with students for support. How people perceive MOOCs is quite divided, and there is a current debate for those who support MOOCs and those who oppose MOOCs. And those who support MOOCs argue that it is a way to reach out to greater audiences. They believe that education should be a basic human right and have the ability to empower individuals. Versus those who oppose MOOCs, arguing whether MOOCs is becoming a more commercialized commodity and becoming an industrialized learning environment. Because they argue that when MOOCs are managed by commercial corporations or universities, is higher education seen as a business, and rather are profit-making values emphasized and focused, and the root values of MOOCs such as open social networks and focus on generating new knowledge are lost. And therefore less emphasis is put on creative and innovative learning, but simply repackaging what is known. And that means that MOOCs are becoming more standardized for producing for the mass. I provided some supporting evidence for those who support and oppose these conflicting views. To further facilitate your learning, please watch this 11-minute video. I provided a question to exercise your critical thinking skills, and please feel free to write your thoughts onto the discussion board. Also, please feel free to write your reflection about this video on the discussion board as well. So to relate MOOC to adult education, I provided with 2 points. Now I'll first start with online learning. I think the curriculum and pedagogy of MOOC really reflects the transmission perspective that we learned in the TPI because it emphasizes mastery learning and a focus on content mastery. I also think that the teacher of MOOCs, they do create online learning content, but they really lack the teacher presence of facilitating discussion and creating meaningful relationships with the students. I also think that it contributes to lifelong learning. MOOCs do promote inclusivity for everyone of different life stages to join. They also allow the adult to really define their own learning experience through self-study and discovery. They're able to explore new interests, build skills, and even acquire new knowledge. It is also an opportunity for marginalized communities to acquire education, and they have that resource just with internet access without sacrificing too much money. And I think that each adult's motivation is dependent on many factors, as we've read in the course content. And their unique experiences, knowledge, and aspirations can bring an enriching learning process in the student's interaction when taking the course. So I've provided my own personal reflection of MOOCs, and just to sum it up, I really think that it's the Western institutions and companies that are creating the knowledge provided by MOOCs. But I question whether this knowledge is applicable for everyone, especially those in developing countries and those with different cultural backgrounds. I think that the status quo of Western powers defining and translating knowledge should be challenged, and there should be a platform for educators in the developing countries as well to establish their own MOOCs and translate it and share it with the greater society, including the Western society. I've provided you guys with some discussion questions, and feel free to choose one or two. And here are my references if you guys want to do further research. And this is my whole presentation. Thank you so much for just listening to this, and I'll look forward to talking to you guys on the discussion board.